Alrighty, welcome back everyone. It is LaughNgamez here. I'm back with another Starcraft 2 1 versus 1 bot AI cast. One of you guys requested it, a Xena match. And so here I am to deliver. It is going to be Xena taking on Eris. And for those of you that just randomly clicked on this video thinking, what's this Starcraft video? Who are these players? Well, they're not really players, more of contestants, seeing as how they are both bots developed by bot authors or teams of bot authors. And these two just happen to be two of the best that there is. And so, a ZVZ to start things off. Ladies and gentlemen, make sure to go ahead and slap that like button. Just give it a click. Subscribe to the channel if you aren't already, as I put out this content almost every day. Leave a comment down below that says more bots if you want to see more of these bots. And consider becoming a YouTube member, as we are one away from our goal of 10. Now, we do have a Roach Warren on the way for Xena. It is a ZVZ, so a knife fight in a phone booth. And yeah, we'll see if Xena's going to potentially be able to get some damage done to Eris, which is the macro Zerg, without a doubt. Seems to be pretty macro focused in all the matchups. It does have good behavior though. For example, if it does catch wind of potential aggression, it will not go for or will cancel its third base. And so if Eris catches wind of this, which I imagine it will eventually, with this Overlord most likely, then it's going to be in full defensive mode. And we'll see if that works or not. As these bot matches, not all of them are created equals. It's kind of like rock, paper, scissors, like one bot beats another. And even if a bot's the top bot, it's like Eris, it's weak to certain things. So we'll see if it's going to be able to hold on against this burrowed roach shenanigans that's going to be coming its way. Looks like Xena will be potentially going for a hatchery behind this. Very delayed though, so Eris right now is going to have alarm bells ringing. There's already roaches out, so this Overlord's like, something's fishy. This Overlord will see those roaches, and it should be all on defense now for Eris. Roach Warren starts immediately upon seeing that. And it is now starting up a spine crawler, so that's going to be building. It's got 30 seconds on the clock. We'll see if those roaches are going to get there prior to that. Creep's going to start being spread. There was a couple of lings made, however, it was just 4. And these roaches are crossing the map. If they can attack that spine before it's done, it's going to be very problematic for Eris. Xena is just pumping out these roaches, just roach, as it wants to get damage done and kill its opponent. Eris squeezed out a few more drones, which is very risky. It's got its own burrow on the way. Once it gets out its own burrow, I think things will be okay for Eris. It's starting to make its own roaches. Xena is quite committed to this attack. However, that is one dead queen. These roaches are engaging the second queen. So far, though, no major damage getting done. That roach does burrow for Xena. And oh man, that queen is very injured, but she's still alive. And if it lives another 20 seconds, it'll probably just burrow and never die. We see a spore crawler on the way too, so a very specified response to deal with this roach shenanigans. As, yeah, that spore crawler will reveal the burrowed roaches, allow for kills, whereas once Eris' own burrow is done, there's going to be no such mechanism for Xena. It does, however, kill one of the roaches prior to that being finished. There's the burrow being done now, and all of a sudden things can be mighty problematic. Now, roaches don't always burrow in time, but most of the time they do, and so Xena is in a bit of a tough spot. It does, however, have its own hatchery done, so it can macro behind this, and the current drone count, it is 10 behind, so pretty significant. Army supplies are even, so yeah, Eris in a pretty good spot, even sneaking out a drone to get that third base on the way. Xena in a bit of a tough spot. Now, so far, Xena has been playing whack-a-mole with these roaches, unable to get any kills or anything like that, as they do just keep on burrowing. It may get enough roaches over here to be able to actually kill some of them off. If it can kill them in one volley and it gets close, then maybe it'll have some success, as it's just chasing the odd roach around here, there, and everywhere. It does not want to go into that natural, though. That is very, very risky. Xena saying, ow, ow, wow, I better go on home, and go home it shall. The drone count, Xena is still behind, and going to be behind for quite a while. And I think we can expect a follow-up attack from Xena in the future. It is not a bot to bow down, to cower away. It'll probably just keep making more roaches, if I had to guess, and go for another big swell. Hopefully try and catch Eris off guard. If Eris is focused more on the macro, which it definitely is, squeezing out even more and more drones. Xena saying, yeah, time to go once more into the breach. As here go these roaches. The units I don't think are here for Xena though, so it may be in a tough spot. It is getting a lair, so it will potentially be able to add an overseer to this army to guarantee the kills. That's something it very much needs. Yeah, getting an overseer with this army would be huge for Xena. It's going to try and attack this location at the front. Actually just walks by the building creep tumors, interestingly enough. Killing those off would be good. It does kill off one of them. Corrosive Biles are there for Eris, however. Xena saying time to get on out of here as it does run for the hills. It's now getting an Evo on the way. I think the lair will be a big addition. Xena is in a very tough economic spot, though. Queen's shooting away on this Overlord. Creep tumors being spread. Yeah, this is very nice to watch ZVZ. Very well developed by both these bot authors. Eris with the great defensive behavior. Xena with some good redundancy, starting +1 attack. Looks like it's even going to start +1 Carapace at some point, seeing as how it went double Evo. That's mighty expensive for a 2-base Zerg, but 2-base Zerg it up is what Xena shall do, all the while Eris now getting up so many drones, squeezing out 12 upon scouting its enemy. It says, yeah, I can go for like 15 drones at a time, why not? So Eris is going to have a massive economic boom. I feel like Xena is just going to build up off of these 2 bases, potentially go for a 1-1 timing attack, and it's going to roll the dice. It's going to say all or nothing. Here we go. It's one of those things, while your opponent's making drones, if you just make units, even at a disadvantaged position, you can come out ahead. Look at that. More and more roaches being added for Xena. All the while Eris is like, drone, 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 drone. And the drones definitely can pay for themselves. However, it's all about trying to hit this crisp window for Xena. And it may be able to do it. We'll see. It does have an overseer with this army. It's moving out, I think, a little bit preemptively, about 60 seconds before that +1 attack is done. I don't think it's going to be able to make this attack work without the +1. It is ahead on roaches by a significant margin, though, so you never know. Out goes Xena. The roaches are actually splitting up. Starcraft AI issues apparently apply to regular old AI. It's actually looking to get a nice concave. Some of the roaches dive on in. Xena says that didn't work, and no, it did not. So we're just going to have to see Xena head on home, and no wonder that didn't work, as it moved across the map and split up its army. So it is funny how the Starcraft pathing gets even bots made by even other bots. Those roaches for Xena unburrow into certain death, and they get killed off. It's currently still 2 bases to 3. The drone count is basically doubled for Eris, and I think unless Xena makes one heck of a fight, I think Eris has probably got this one just by weathering the storm. The army supplies are even now. The upgrades are still in the lead for Xena, and they shall continue to be so with that 1-1 about to finish up, +2 even on the way. But at some point, like, it's like, man, you gotta expand or something. Xena chasing that Ling away from a potential 3rd base location. It's so far behind, though. I do not see Xena having a chance. It's going to be on the defensive now, as Eris is moving out on the map saying, all right, I'm maxed out. It's time to go. Army supplies are not too far away from each other, and Xena will have the upgrades, so maybe Xena can take a big fight, swing things in its favor, somehow producing as much as it can off these 2 bases. There's going to be a concave. Eris looking for the attack. Is it going to have success? Can Xena hold on and potentially get a counter blow? Its roaches do dive right on into the face of Eris, and it's actually just gobbling those up pretty well so far. Corrosive Biles are really forcing micro from Xena, but yeah, Xena is taking much better trades than Eris here. And if it just dives on in on top of this army, I think it will be able to absolutely destroy it. Somehow Queens even came across for Eris, but if we look at the creep spread on the map, that's no surprise they were able to make that trip. Even Grandma can get across the map. And we do see Xena, yeah, taking a really good defense. It's one of those things, if this was a human player, they would absolutely dive on this and go for the counterattack. We'll see if Eris has the game knowledge to do so, or if Xena does, pardon me. So far, the defense is really darn good for Xena. Eris will keep spamming out more and more roaches, though, and if it's at least getting some okay trades, it can potentially just, can potentially win this game. But, yeah, army supplies now vastly in favor for Xena, as it's still just got a boatload of roaches hanging out at its natural. Eventually, Eris is going to remax, though, and now Eris adding infestors on 4, 5, 6 bases against 2. Xena is a bot that sometimes has macro builds. This is not one of them. It's going to have 2-2 done in a second, though, so that's going to have to be the attack threshold. It's going to have to hit, hopefully, before those infestors have the energy that it needs, and it's going to have to win the game. Up 30 supply now. That last fight went very good. We'll see if it can take another or not, as now Eris starting to move across the map once more. It could be getting a little bit over aggressive again. We do see Xena saying attacking the 6 as we... Oh no, are we just going to head on into like a base raid? Looks like Eris is moving to intercept. These two armies will face each other down. It's 2-2 against 1-1, so big upgrade lead for Xena. Its micro is pretty good as these roaches do just dive on top of those Eris. Mass fungal growths get tossed down in a second. Xena is taking not the best trades, as a lot of its roaches are sitting idle while some of their comrades are actually engaged. Yeah, these roaches are fanning out so much. That is not good. Army supply is ahead for Eris. Eris now with the +2 attack done. Xena is got +2 carapace, but the fight is not looking as good as the last one, and its micro is really good in the first fight, but it's had a lot of idle time on some of these roaches not partaking in the fight. It is closing on top of some of these now. The fight isn't looking horrible. It's just not looking as amazing as I think it needed to be. There we go. Now it's really diving on top of these roaches for Eris. Is there an overseer for Xena? Looks like the answer is yes. It is in the fight there, so there can be guaranteed kills. I think time is just not on Xena's side, though, as Eris has such an economy that it's just making as many roaches as it's losing. So even though Xena is the bot taking better trades with the better resources lost, it does not have the economy that it needs. And I think with a little bit of tweaks, that could have been a winning maneuver for Xena if it just like really dived on in there. But then the decision to attack the 6, I think, the 6th base, I think some of the roaches weren't partaking in the fight and were trying to head over to the 6. That's maybe why they were kind of inactive there. Xena is still fighting. Like, it's still taking good roach trades. However, upgrades are really going to even up and even take a lead for Eris. The roach count is falling for Xena down to 18 against 33. Ladies and gentlemen, I think we can see the writing on the wall for this one. If you enjoyed this bot versus bot match, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you've made it to the end of this video. Join the Discord as we talk lots of Starcraft there. Consider becoming a YouTube member, and I believe that is the whole spiel. Other than that, yeah, just thanks for watching as Eris shows us its macro dominance once again. Xena, the bot with a wide variety of strategies, did not take down the super bot, the super macro bot, as is so difficult to do. GG.